You were never in control of your emotions. You were trained to believe you were. That quiet voice in your head, the one you think is you, the one making decisions, choosing what to say, what to feel, what to do, it is not in charge. It never was. And Inside Out does not show you how emotions work together. It shows you something far more unsettling. Your mind is a control room, and you are not the one sitting at the controls. From the very beginning, the film establishes a structure that feels harmless, almost comforting, a group of emotions working together inside a child's head, guiding her safely through life. But if you strip away the color, the humor, the softness, what remains is a system built entirely on competition. 5 entities. 1 control panel. Only one can take control at a time. That is not balance. That is dominance. Look at Joy. She is not simply an emotion. She is the primary operator. From the first moment Riley is born, Joy takes control of the console, defines what matters, shapes how experiences are stored, and most importantly, decides which emotions are allowed to influence reality. She does not cooperate. She suppresses. She pushes sadness away from the controls, physically removes her from interaction with core memories, and treats her presence as a malfunction. That is not guidance. That is control. The film presents this as positive thinking, as optimism, as something necessary for a child to function. But look closer. Joy is not creating balance. She is enforcing it. She is deciding that only certain emotions are acceptable, that only certain experiences are allowed to define Riley's identity. Everything else is pushed aside, ignored, contained. Now look at how memory works. Every experience Riley has is converted into a memory orb, color-coded, categorized, stored. But not all memories are equal. Some are selected, elevated, turned into core memories. And those core memories build Riley's personality. Not gradually, not naturally, deliberately. Each core memory powers an island, family, friendship, hockey, honesty. Pieces of identity that appear stable, solid, permanent. But they are not. They are constructed, maintained, dependent on specific emotional inputs, which means they can collapse instantly. That is the first crack in the illusion. Your identity is not stable. It is a system held together by selected experiences, controlled by whichever emotion is dominant. Now look at Riley herself. She believes she is making choices. She believes she is reacting to the world. But every action she takes is triggered by whichever emotion is at the controls. When joy is in charge, Riley smiles. When anger takes over, she lashes out. When fear steps in, she freezes. These are not choices. They are outputs, responses generated by whichever operator is currently in control. Riley is not directing her emotions. Her emotions are directing her. And there is no central authority above them, no higher self, no unified decision maker, just shifting control. That is the system, and it is fragile, because the moment control is disrupted, everything begins to break. When joy tries to maintain dominance, when she refuses to allow sadness to interact with core memories, she destabilizes the system she is trying to protect. Sadness touches a core memory. It changes. The foundation of Riley's identity begins to shift, and Joy reacts the only way she knows how. She tries to fix it, to isolate the problem, to remove sadness entirely. But in doing that, she triggers something much worse. She removes part of the system. And when that part is removed, the illusion of stability collapses. Because this system was never built on cooperation. It was built on suppression, on limiting which emotions are allowed to define reality. And the moment that suppression fails, everything underneath it starts to surface. The memories begin to change. The core memories lose their stability. The personality islands begin to weaken, and Riley begins to lose control. Not slowly, not subtly, rapidly. Because what the film is really showing you is not emotional growth, it is system failure. A control system built on imbalance, forced positivity, and selective memory cannot sustain itself when one part breaks free. And that is exactly what happens. Joy is not protecting Riley, she is maintaining dominance over the system. And when that dominance slips, when sadness is no longer contained, the entire structure begins to destabilize, which leads to the real question the film never asks directly. If your thoughts, your reactions, your identity are all controlled by competing forces inside you, then who exactly is in charge? Because once you remove the illusion of a single self, once you see the system for what it is, there is nothing left at the center, just a console. And whoever is holding it at that moment, and the moment that control slips, even slightly, everything you think of as you begins to fall apart. When control breaks, identity does not bend, it collapses. The moment joy and sadness are pulled out of headquarters, the system loses its primary regulators, and what remains is not balance, it is instability. Three emotions left at the controls: anger, fear, and disgust. None of them designed to lead, none of them capable of stabilizing identity, and yet they are now in charge. That is when Riley begins to change, not gradually, not emotionally, structurally, because what the film shows next is not sadness, it is breakdown. The personality islands begin to fail, one by one: family, friendship, hockey, honesty, each one powered by core memories that are no longer stable, each one collapsing as those memories lose their emotional foundation. And when an island falls, it does not weaken, it shuts down, gone, disconnected, like parts of a system being erased in real time. This is not symbolic, it is mechanical. Identity is not something Riley holds, it is something being maintained. And when maintenance fails, identity disappears. Now look at the memory dump, a place where forgotten memories are sent, not archived, discarded, entire experiences, entire versions of Riley. Thrown away without resistance and without awareness, they fade, break down, disappear completely, and no one notices. That is the second crack. You do not remember most of your life. And what you forget does not stay somewhere safe. It is erased, which means your sense of self is built on fragments, selected moments. Everything else is gone. Now look at Bing Bong. He is not just an imaginary friend. He is a part of Riley that no longer fits. Childhood, imagination, attachment without condition. And when the system begins to collapse, he does not get saved. He gets left behind. He sacrifices himself so joy can return to headquarters. But look at what that actually means. A part of Riley's identity is abandoned, not integrated, not preserved, removed, because it is no longer useful. He fades, calls out to her, and disappears. Completely. That is not growth, that is deletion. The system does not preserve everything. It keeps what it needs, and discards the rest. Now return to headquarters. With joy and sadness gone, the remaining emotions try to maintain control, but they cannot. Because they are not designed to build identity. They are designed to react. Anger pushes Riley toward drastic decisions. Fear amplifies uncertainty. Disgust detaches her from everything around her. There is no direction, only reaction. And that leads to the most important moment in the entire film. Riley decides to run away. This is not a choice. It is a system response, a result of unstable control, collapsing identity, and unregulated emotional input. She is not thinking clearly. She is not acting independently. She is being driven. The system is failing, and this is the output. That changes everything. Because it means behavior is not always intentional. It is often the result of internal imbalance, a system trying to stabilize itself in the only way it can. Now look at what Joy learns. Up until this point, she believed her role was to maintain happiness, to protect Riley by suppressing anything that disrupts that state. But as the system collapses, she is forced to confront something she has been avoiding. Sadness is not the problem. Sadness is part of the system, not a flaw, a function. Because when Joy watches a memory change, when she sees a moment that was once happy become something else, she realizes something critical. Sadness allows connection. It allows recognition. It allows Riley to signal that something is wrong. Without it, the system cannot correct itself. But that realization comes late, after the collapse has already begun, after parts of Riley's identity have already been lost, after Bing Bong is gone, after multiple personality islands have fallen. The damage is not prevented, it is understood. And that distinction matters, because it shows that awareness does not stop collapse, it only explains it. Now step back and look at what the film has revealed. Your identity is not stable. It is maintained by emotional control. Your memories are not permanent. Most are discarded. parts of who you were do not evolve. They disappear, and your decisions are not always yours. They are outputs of whichever emotion is in control at that moment. That is the system. And when it breaks, when control slips, when one part is removed or suppressed, the entire structure begins to fall apart. Not slowly, completely. Which leads to the final realization. The system cannot be fixed by removing emotions. It cannot be stabilized by control alone. It has to change, but not in the way you were told. Because what comes next is not freedom. It is something else. Something quieter. Something more controlled. Something that looks like balance, but is still built on the same system underneath. So the system doesn't collapse. It adapts. That is what you are shown at the end of Inside Out. And it is framed as healing, as growth, as Riley finally becoming whole again. But look closer. Nothing was removed. Nothing was escaped. The system is still there. The control room still exists. The console is still the center of everything. The emotions are still the ones making decisions. The only difference is that now they are sharing control. And that is not freedom, that is stabilization. Up until this point, Joy believed she needed to dominate the system, to maintain constant happiness, to suppress anything that threatened that state. But what she learns is not that Riley is now in control, it is that control must be distributed, because a system run by one emotion fails. A system run by multiple emotions can hold together longer. That is the shift, not independence, balance. And even that balance is not stable. It is negotiated, constantly. Now look at what replaces the original core memories. Before, they were simple, pure, single-colored. Each one tied to a single emotion. Now they are mixed, multiple colors inside the same memory. Joy and sadness, sometimes anger, sometimes fear. Complexity replaces clarity, but that complexity is not freedom. It is adaptation. The system is evolving to handle instability, not removing it. Now look at Riley. She cries in front of her parents. She expresses what she is feeling. And the film presents this as the moment everything is fixed. But what actually happens is more precise than that. Sadness takes control, not permanently, not completely, but enough to signal something, enough to shift the system. And the response from her parents reinforces that signal. Comfort, understanding, connection, which tells the system that this behavior works, that this emotional output produces a desired result. So it is integrated, not because it is right, because it is effective. That is how the system evolves, not through truth, through reinforcement. Now look at the final control panel. It is larger, more complex, capable of handling multiple inputs at once. This is presented as growth, as maturity. But what it actually shows is something else. The system is becoming more advanced, not more free. Riley is not taking control of her emotions. Her emotions are becoming better at managing her. That is the final shift, and it changes everything, because it means growing up is not about gaining control. It is about increasing complexity, more emotions, more combinations, more internal negotiation. But the structure remains the same. There is still no single self at the center, no unified voice making decisions, just competing forces sharing control. Now reframe everything. The control room is not a metaphor. It is the system. The emotions are not helpers. They are operators, each one pushing for influence, each one trying to shape behavior. And Riley is not directing them. She is experiencing the result. The stepmother in Cinderella was the system. Here the system is internal, but the function is the same. It assigns roles. It maintains control. It adapts when necessary, but it never disappears. Now look at the core message. You are not a single stable identity. You are a system. Your thoughts, your reactions, your decisions are not coming from one place. They are negotiated, moment by moment, based on which emotional state is dominant. And even when that system stabilizes, even when it becomes more balanced, more complex, more refined, you are still not in control. You are being managed, which leads to the final truth the film hides behind its ending. Riley did not become whole. She became stable. And stability is not the same as control, because the system that broke her down is still there, still operating, still deciding, just more quietly, more efficiently, more precisely. And the next time it shifts, the next time one emotion takes over, The next time the balance slips, the same process begins again. Not because something went wrong, but because that is how the system works. You don't become yourself, you become something that holds together just enough to keep from falling apart.